Hi, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the story how Dean was bored with his work and he really needed to change. Now, how Dean went about it and what the end result of the story was should interest you if you currently have this feeling of you are bored in your job. Just to note, Dean realized that when all work together, invest together, they will benefit together. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay between the work and the benefit. That's normal. So let us just look. Dean had this perceptions that he was bored with his job, which was the truth. It's his true perception and his absolute truth. He realized, however, that should he look at it differently, approach it differently, do a few actions, he could move to a tremendous space where currently he had a total change in his job. If we then look, what can be done and what did Dean do to get rid of this boredom to where he now, in the same company in his case, sometimes you must change companies, but in his case, in the same company, he's got a tremendous job and it happened in under 3 months. He does expect early next year a tremendous increase as well because the value of his job changed when he started working together and looking at a future in the way we will propose just now. He was waiting for others to notice that he was bored and that he needed to change, but nobody noticed. They were very happy that he did a good job, and the fact that he was bored, they just thought, it's some other problems. So how then did Dean go about it, communicating what he already does and understand the value to move to more valuable work? It really meant that he was ready for much more valuable work for the business, which in the end would benefit him as well. So how can he be paid right if no one knew about it? Now people really took notice and started to know because he approached them in the right way, which we will propose to you just now. The decision makers needs to understand the value of what he already does and what he can do. And it's especially the can-do aspect, which is not always so easy to figure out unless you follow a system and you follow the golden thread, how you make decisions, what interests you, what really gives you energy, what makes you feel alive every day. And for Dean then, he realized that this molehill in front of him, I'm bored, needed to be changed, and he just had to look beyond, as each of us must do here, and see the great blue mountains for him to go and climb. But when the molehill is so close in front of him, he couldn't see beyond the molehill. He just realized one day, I'm now bored in a job that was okay before. So let us then look at moving from these perceived limitations, which keeps me in boredom, to the great space that meant I now changed and changed safely and securely. Dean realized that boredom really could be transformed, translated into, wow, I'm ready for new choices. I must make these choices very carefully. And choice is really the spice of life. Choice is an extremely valuable thing. Not all humans even experience it ever in their life. It's something so tremendous, so valuable. Once you realize you have choice, and that is what the system is all about, that he should change and communicate and then change for what he can do now. And he must communicate correctly because he didn't want to put his current job on risk in a current recessionary circumstance. It may not that simple and easy to find a new job. So we then took him through the secure and safe and certain way where he changed his view, his insight, and he's now ready and communicating right. So well on his way to be paid right even for the new work that he does. So if you look, all working together, investing, moving from the perceived boxes to the great spaces, we will briefly look at an integrated system, just a brief introduction to some elements of the system to give you a very good idea. And secondly, we'll offer a brief summary of the solution that you can use right now to break out of this boredom and go to a new space where you realize that the boredom really meant you were ready for the next level of progress, as we are here today to discuss. It's then 3 steps: know, prepare, and engage. We'll look at each of them in more detail. What was absolutely true, he couldn't stay where he was and waited for people to notice and keep on doing the same thing. That would just mean less and less. He would get more frustrated, more angry, and probably change companies to his detriment. At least consider the current company's opportunities if you come with a plan and you change. So keep on doing the same thing, expecting different results, waiting for different results, could even be seen as some kind of work insanity based on Einstein's very old observation. If we then look at system slide 1, which is the big model simplified, you driving into the engine of production, you can choose where you fit. You can choose what you do to drive harder, be more valuable, understanding what the executive want, how they're going to satisfy the shareholders so that all of us can get more capital. And the dean in the process could get a bigger gain, where he can contribute more to his team and within his team. Which skills does he need to master next, so that they together can deliver more value, that when the client comes shopping, the client finds more value and pay more money. Now, if the client finds more value, pay more money, the team does better, I made a contribution, it's clear to management, and it makes a clear contribution to the shareholders. Everybody loves you. When you sit and wait, and your boredom grows, you become a cogwheel that drags the engine. And you may even lose your job in the process, versus accelerating your job, which is what Dean now is doing. It's a tremendous story, and I hope you will meet Dean soon on the web anyway. He agreed to be a role model for us on the web. If we then look at moving from the boxes to the great spaces, using the insight in how business works, what is my role, and a clarity of purpose, of my purpose, which takes us to the slide that says, I should communicate my purpose very clearly. My objectives, my tasks, when chosen well, should really align and inform my purpose. From there, I can clarify a mission and a vision dynamically, because it is a dynamic process. And you can call that your strategy to keep your tasks and objectives aligned with your growing vision and mission. That's why you can see they grow, your objective and your task grow. And if you keep them aligned, your career aim will be very, very clear to everybody, and many more people would want to help you. Everybody loves a man with a clear purpose, and especially if you can articulate it extremely clearly. A third system slide, if you understand the known and the area where you have no influence, you can call rules. When you understand these rules and you play the game, you know when the ref is going to blow. Instead of spending your energy disliking the rules, which you may be right, but it still is not changing anything. It's not earning you the way out of boredom and a way to a better salary. Where you earn that is playing to the rules, making decisions, making a contribution, where things are both known and you have an influence. At the same time, the process will let you gain access to new options which were previously unknown, because people love to tell a man with a plan what next, what more, what else he can do. So you move the line and your space for production grows. And long term, you can look at scenarios in the great space here. So play where you have influence, it's known, grow and increase your space. Now moving to the solution for how Dean is moving out of a bored situation into a new great space. Very simple, very straightforward. He must know what he currently does and for whom he does it. And just to entice you, the value of what you do, you've got to investigate, prepare, understand, discuss, communicate. If you then identify the people you must communicate to and what they need, you give them what they need and you get more of what you need. You will then figure out what to do more of and what to do less of. Now only you can do it. The door to this success place has got a key in the inside only. You can make that key, you can open that door. The next step then, moving from the perceived limitations to the great space, is to prepare to communicate to the influencers. You can understand it takes quite a bit of preparation because this is an area you haven't been before. And in any new area, when you go into the woods or you go anywhere, you gain some information. How to handle bears, how to survive in the bush. What do you need to survive a day in the bush? And you prepare. Now, preparing for your next step in your career is very similar to any adventure game. Some brief notes, you discuss it with friends, family, people around you. You prepare and seek more information so that your clarity can grow, so that you can understand the spaces you want to be, the knowledge you need to earn more, to do more so that you can earn more. Once you've identified those, you have the insights and the input, you practice like you would practice anything. You know, if you want to go for a long walk in a bush, it's a good thing to walk a little bit. Check that your shoes are right, as Dean now did. Dean walks into the bush with certainty now, where he engages the people and take the next job he wants. He even creates it right now. So the practice is critical. If you then go to the third step, now you get ready to engage the identified people, those with influence that can assist you to do more of what each of you want to do. When you do that, you simply ask and share with your selected people. The sharing and the questioning skills are critical, and the support for that is all inside a website. Respect and acknowledgement will get you a long way. When you approach people you want knowledge from and you approach people you want to now share and grow your job, in both cases, if you are clear why you come to them, what you want from them, why you think they can help you, that is like admiration. That's like a thank you. And recognition, acceptance of people makes them feel tremendously good. It's just a people thing. And I haven't seen a prepared man getting refused. We have in our pro bono work at universities and schools, we have young people choosing the jobs in companies and with clarity engage those companies, and when they finish studying, they get a job with those companies. Last year in one university, we had over 60 students finishing studying, getting jobs that were never advertised, never existed. This is how we grew the people in all the companies that I've built. The processes were packaged when we built a big incubator to $60 million turnover in under 6 years. So if you then look at a summary of the system and the solution combined, what stops people moving? Those perceptions. You know, from the perceptions, they create fears. Fear of failure is one of them. That makes them see a whole lot of risks that are not real. But to them, it's real because it's their perceptions. Fear just stands for false evidence appearing real. Fail simply stands for first attempt in learning, like we learn everything in our life. You know, when you learn to ride a bicycle, sometimes we even lost a bit of skin. But it was okay because somebody was there to help us up, put us back on the bicycle, and we were okay. Now we can do it. So how do you go beyond those fears and the risks and that fail thing. You know what you want to do, you know what you currently do, and you go forward. You prepare and you engage. So your store of assets are all your experiences, all your personal aptitudes, all your relationships, and a much longer list. You need to understand that, and I haven't found anybody that can put his list by himself properly. When you engage with friends, colleagues, and people you admire, they help you to write that list in an incredible way. They also help you write a story, your whole life's golden thread. How did you get here? It makes sense when you look for the golden thread right through your life, which creates certainty, makes people very comfortable when you go with your plan. When you have this approach of exploring, preparing, engaging, you will find that all the resources you may possibly require are available, because people want to help a person with a purpose, a plan. And when you go to them and say, wow, I really like what you do, and I believe you can help me, this is where I want to go, you won't stop them talking. They will share their life's knowledge with you. You get that from a few people, and you become clear. So it's all available. We have the most amazing results in our companies historically, and Dean was awed how many people wanted to help him, even in his company, in his industry, suppliers, and most amazing, some of his key clients we had pretty good relationship with. They all wanted to help him because he's got a plan. Before he did this, he just told them, man, I'm frustrated, I'm bored. And all of a sudden, he got more frustrated because he got alone. Everybody walks away from a man that moans. But a man with a plan, everybody loves him. So if we then look, this is like making your staircase and climbing it at the same time, which is a scary thing, which is where the fears and failures and perceived risks and everything comes from. Now, if you have a clear system, a clear plan, clear steps, building and climbing a staircase at the same time becomes a habit. And we hope it will become a habit for you. We would like to believe the program, as well as us, could be a companion with you on this fantastic road ahead of you. Where do you start? You explore, you prepare, you engage, and in the process of engaging these people, you grow and you clarify your competencies, your skills, what you really want to do, why you want to do it, and why is it valuable to the company and the client or the team around you. If you then look in career change, this is especially important, because people do not realize the accumulated value they have. They do not realize the choices they have to apply it. This process will unlock that for you. And you will end up aligning your job with industry and companies that you've chosen. And most people stay with their current company and job, just looking at it differently. They then align the work they do that they choose freely. They create almost jobs and build a career that is so clear you can call it a career beacon. If you put it out there, everybody can see where you are going, but more importantly, whenever you get busy or get stuck, you can just look up and see your career beacon, and your decisions becomes very clear. If the career beacon is not clear, how do you know what you say yes to and no to? You don't. You will stay where you are bored. If you then look at this whole loop and process, you end up in charge of your future. You're always on top of it. Your career aims are aligned with where you want to go, your preferences. You know what to say yes to and no to. You end up with clear insights, knowledge, and confidence. So then we can say the great spaces are right in front of you. So you've moved from the perceived limitations of being stuck in boredom to open space where you have choice. You make the choice. You are in charge. If you now, in conclusion, we look at the business tool set and the personal tool set. If you look at the business tool set and the personal tool set, we put on the same site in clusters, so that when we have a specific problem in our big incubator, we try to make it quicker and easier for people to become productive. So if you look at the clusters, in this case, probably the first one is career planning and performance. If you then look at career planning, We have a whole bunch of clusters of goal clarification, enrichment, setting smart goals, specific, measurable, accountable, resource, reward, time, and monitor. Those things have been developed to assist people in our companies. So there's a whole lot of tools, and I hope it helps you to plan your road to the great space, and boredom just disappears for you. So the personal tool sits exactly on the same site as you could have seen there. I want to invite you to watch out for the next Career Maker System email